2.5 Lesbians by Rose Bay. It's our last reading of the festival, and I'm thrilled to announce it. It's directed by Lavanya, Sinha, and the cast is Sandra, Temgoua, Jeanne, Loste, Molly Hill, Michaela Johnson, Sam Fisher, Mari Elliot, and Max Cover. Sivan Batat and Shalorna Stokes were our mentors, and there'll be a talk back to follow up here on stage. I'll moderate. Elisa will come join in proxy since both Sivan and Shalorna had extenuating circumstances and are sending all of their best. And then Lavanya and Rose will also join on stage for the talk back. It'll be modeled after the critical response process created by Liz Lerman. If you've been here for a few of these, I think you know the drill. So speaking of drills, I'm going to hand it over to our house manager to give the fire speech. And then we can do the fire speech. I wanted to shout out Elisa Morrison, professor in theater, dance, and performance studies, and Elena Conti, the senior admin, who formed the rest of the Yale Playwrights Festival team. It's just been such a joy, truly a team effort. Okay.
The only thing that you need to hear from me is pretty much the emergency exits are back here. There's also one over to the side. They're marked with red signs. In the unlikely event of an emergency, please follow me out either of these doors. We'll go up the stairs, we'll go out to the courtyard, and then we'll reconvene on the walkway by the Off-Broadway Theater where the blue light is. Aside from that, enjoy.
Scene 1/2. Makes sense? 2.5 is the minimum number of lesbians that any given room should have. Anyone in the presence of fewer than 2.5 lesbians for an extended period of time may experience symptoms including, but not limited to, shortness of breath, dressing in an outfit curated for the male gaze, excessive knitting, death, and in extreme cases, committing to a monogamous heterosexual relationship that is only tacitly acknowledged by your friends. If you note one or more of these symptoms, the first thing you should do is panic. Good places to do so are the local graveyard, Trader Joe's, and your hottest professor's office. But under someone's bed will do in a pinch. After releasing the appropriate amount of panic, or until 3 discrete people have begged you to stop screaming, calmly and rationally pick up this flyer and make your paper boat out of it. Then, fill up the bathtub with ice water, place the paper boat in the bathtub, and set it on fire. The ash will reveal your next steps. All of these steps will involve entering a room with at least 2.5 lesbians. Scene 1. Well, hello there. A spotlight shines on Diane, who is sitting in the middle of a very long flight of stairs. Diane takes off her white heels and massages her feet. Another spotlight reveals Sky, who walks down a few steps to join Diane.
Good. I was about to be scared.
Don't stop on my behalf.
Are you still mad?
No, just disappointed.
I'm not going to say it. Fine, I am sorry.
Go on.
I'm sorry I called you flimsy homosexual dingbat that hadn't sufficiently evolved to understand romance.
I'm sorry, you're dating a man named Spencer.
Excuse me, we're engaged.
Diane holds out her left hand and starts wagging her ring finger before realizing the diamond ring is missing.
Oh, of course. I don't wear my ring to bed.
Good, it wouldn't have been allowed in my dream anyway.
I'm going to kick you out of my dream if you keep trying to take credit.
Go for it.
Darn it!
Told you it was my dream.
It's lousy.
Come on, figment of my imagination that looks a lot like my best friend, up you get.
Sky pulls Diane up by her elbow.
But my toes won't fit into my shoes anymore.
Not a problem.
Sky looks around and sees a pair of flip-flops 3 stairs down. Sky puts them on Diane's feet. Diane stands up and they start walking down the stairs again. A moment later, a sign that says, "Eternal damnation is low-key groovy," turns on right beside them.
Interesting decor you have here.
Don't try to psychoanalyze me.
Masochist, huh?
No, misanthrope. You should know this already.
Who says you can't be both?
Alice.
I miss her.
I miss her too. She's a wonderful person.
She did cheat on you.
She was bad at having tough conversations.
Are you still in love with her?
No,
I am. A little. Did I ever tell you?
didn't have to.
How can you not love someone like her?
It's hard work.
Why do it then?
Because I loved her more at 15, and she'll always know that.
You sound like Joe.
Oh,
Joe is a perfectly fine man.
I suppose.
Have you seen his eyes?
I try not to.
Rude.
I know. He's just so boring.
That's one thing you can't say about Spencer.
True. I've said almost everything else, though.
Another sign. Some pastas are better than others. And another. Favorite divine entity? There is a right answer.
What's the answer then?
How am I supposed to know?
This is your subconscious.
All I know is it's not the capital G God.
Are you sure? Please be sure. I mean, 10 commandments? That's just too much.
Which one is it? Murder or adultery?
If you must know, I...
Sky and Diane have reached the end of the stairs. In front is a door with yet another sign. This one says, "Break up with your best friend. I'm bored." The door swings open. Scene 2. Someone take Persephone's TV away.
My special humans, please sit. Hurry. If you dawdle, we'll certainly miss the opening of The Real Mortals of Ithaca, the prophecy, the series. I'm so excited. The trailer said there would be lots of sinking dread. Pomegranate? No?
Persephone opens a pomegranate and pops a seed in her mouth. An old-timey TV with antennas sit opposite a couch that sat on one side.
What?
Have you been living under a rock? It's the 40,022nd reboot of The Real Mortals of Ithaca.
That's great. Awesome. Who are you?
Persephone, goddess of spring and queen of the underworld.
Good one. Sky, who is this woman?
I'm not sure.
I know all your exes. Is this an ex's ex? A forbidden crush?
I see. You're still in denial about
Spencer
being dead.
is the love of my life.
Excuse me?
You're dead. Both of you.
I highly doubt it.
Good for you. Sit down.
Persephone waves her right hand, and Sky and Diane end up on the couch. They struggle, but to no avail.
Oh, if I could only find my remote.
I'm trying.
Well, try harder.
Ow! Neither of you are being very mature about all this.
Persephone mimes zipping her lips. Diane and Sky can no longer open their mouths. Persephone rummages under a random pile of bones.
Aha! Oh, never mind. This is my yogurt remote.
Mm-hmm.
How else would I drop 20 tons of yogurt on each of the top 20 nations that have benefited from colonization? Silly girl.
Sky raises their hand and points at their mouth.
Are you ready to accept that you're not in control here?
Sky nods. Persephone makes an unzipping motion and frees Diane and Sky from silence.
You are dead, you know. That's why you're here, with me. And the bones. And the pomegranates.
Yeah, right.
You like a demonstration then?
Persephone snaps her fingers. Diane slumps down on the couch, unconscious.
What did you do?
Nothing she'd find unfamiliar.
Persephone lifts Diane's chin with her forefinger. Diane's eyes open.
Are you hurt?
No, I don't think so.
Tell us, how's Spencer doing?
Spencer?
Her fiance?
I'm engaged?
What?
To a man named Spencer? No way!
Anything you'd like to forget, Sky? Alice, perhaps?
Stop. Don't.
Are you scared?
If this is real, if I'm not asleep, then why don't you remember dying?
Catch up, Sky. I took those memories from you,
Give them back.
if you wish.
Persephone snaps and Diane remembers Spencer. Diane wrinkles her nose a bit, then snaps at Persephone.
Everything, not just Spencer.
That would be cruel.
Cruelty is right up your alley, if I remember correctly.
Interesting. Homer?
Nope, Percy Jackson. Just have our memories.
You know, I could smite you.
We're already dead.
Yeah.
But I really shouldn't. Ever since I was enlightened on the impact smiting has on the ozone layer, I've limited myself to one a year. God, where's that darn remote?
Persephone opens the oven and finds the remote, smoking, covered in mozzarella and breadcrumbs, and begins fiddling with it.
Alfredo! I don't know if this even still works.
Scene 3. Antheia and Penelope are 13. They're in a corner of the woods. Antheia sneaks up on Penelope, who is leaning against a tree, writing.
That's beautiful.
No, it's nothing. It's
Beautiful.
you don't mean it. You find everything beautiful.
That only means I notice it better.
Why do you always hold a mirror?
Because I hate looking at it.
Then don't. Put it down.
But then someone else would look at me first.
Is that worse?
Yes.
I'm looking at you now.
You are.
You want me to stop?
Oh no, please don't.
You're never who I imagined you to be.
Thank God.
Which one?
You really are trying to get me in trouble, Penelope.
Antheia.
What?
It's your name, isn't it?
Yes, but I was expecting you to say something after.
I didn't really have anything else to say.
Scene 4. Cliffhanger. Persephone mutes the TV. She is really mad.
Well, that's great. We missed half the first episode. That's it. I'm firing Alfredo. I mean it this time.
What even was that?
I told you, it's the real mortals of Ithaca, the prophecy, the series. Were you not listening at all?
My lady, would I be correct in guessing that Penelope in this show is Penelope, Queen of Ithaca?
So intelligent for a mortal. Not yet, but she will be. Do you recognize the other one?
No, my
She's
lady.
kind of hot.
Thank you for your valuable contributions.
Anytime.
Have you already forgotten that I could smite you?
I prefer being smoked to watching another episode of that.
What?
My apologies. My friend is.
No, Diane, please, enlighten me. What did you find so objectionable?
I just don't care. So what if Penelope gets with that other girl, Antheia or whatever?
Antheia.
Fine, anthropology. Her and Penelope will get their tragic ending eventually. Why does it matter how they get there?
Nothing matters more.
Well, you can't expect me to pay attention.
Don't then. I'm sure the consequences will amuse me.
Is there any way we can get our memories back?
Of course, I wouldn't let you leave without them.
So all we have to do is stay and get to the end of this poorly written show.
I really hope you make it that far. I have high hopes for you two.
There's not a day in your life when you say exactly what you mean, is there?
Touche. So which question do you most desire a straightforward answer?
Why us? What did we do to deserve this?
Wrong.
Questions can't be wrong.
They certainly can.
This isn't fair.
Fair! You disgust me. What a mortal concept that you all are born equal and deserve the same joys and trials in life. No, you were born because we wanted to see you spark. You will earn your place eventually.
Scene 5. Proposal. Penelope, 15 years old, enters her bedroom dazed, with a bouquet of flowers in one hand. An olive tree outside the window looks over at her with concern. Penelope's dress is torn at the hand, and her hand is holding a banquet. Penelope's dress is torn, and the hand holding the banquet is bleeding.
Antheia's gone.
You're bleeding.
She left me.
She will come back. She wouldn't leave you.
I went to the woods today, to our usual place. There's a bouquet of flowers waiting for me.
That doesn't mean she's gone.
She would never let me pick flowers before. She would show me a different flower each day and declare it to be mine, but she wouldn't let me take it home. Antheia picked them all and tied them together with ivy and left the bouquet where she knew I would come. A lily, a rose, a hyacinth, a daffodil.
She really left.
They'll die. They're already dying.
Maybe she had no choice but to leave.
She doesn't love me anymore.
That's not true.
Then why wouldn't she tell me? that she was leaving or where she was going or to wait for her. I thought she cared about me. This isn't how you treat someone you love. You don't leave them wondering if you're alive or dead or if you ever cared about them or if they could have done something to make you stay. You give them a chance.
Nothing you did could have changed this.
I'll never be able to believe that.
You will.
It hurts.
I know.
It's not fair.
Fair. I grow and bear fruit and can make peace only by sacrificing a part of myself. Sometimes this is close enough to how you live life to feign understanding. But I do not understand you now. I wish I could.
Scene 6. Wait a second.
There? Is that a coincidence?
I get the sense there aren't many coincidences around here.
Right again, Sky.
But it's already been filmed. Everything is fixed.
Everything can be persuaded, and you're quite persuasive.
Is there something you want to see?
A story where everyone gets what they deserve.
Doesn't sound easy.
The 1,988 human pairs I've tried before you would agree.
What happened to them?
Well, there's a reason there are so many bones in this room.
So there's a correct way to solve this story.
Mhm.
But you can't tell us what to do. Because you don't know. And if we get it wrong, you'll use our bones as mantelpiece decor?
Well, that really depends on the quality of your bones.
What did you do to them?
Me? Nothing. 2 tortured lesbians on the brink of death are hard to find. Correction? Harder than you might think. I tried to keep each pair together or going as long as possible, but eventually something inside them gives way and they begin to melt. You humans are too delicate for your own good.
I'm not a lesbian.
The situation was getting dire. I had to settle for half.
Scene 7. Vows. Penelope's mother braids her hair in preparation for her wedding to Odysseus. Penelope is on the verge of tears. Mother's face is blank. When Mother finishes the braid, she puts her hand on Penelope's shoulders, lightly pressing her into her chair. Mother makes eye contact with Penelope's reflection in the mirror.
You're beautiful.
Thank you, Mother.
Make me proud.
Yes, Mother.
Do as your husband says.
Yes, Mother.
Devote yourself to him.
Yes, Mother.
Don't be arrogant.
Yes, Mother.
Don't grovel.
Yes, Mother.
Any power you think you have is borrowed.
Yes, Mother.
Don't give it up.
Yes, Mother.
Don't expect your husband to tell you the truth.
Yes, Mother.
Don't ever accuse him of lying.
Yes, Mother.
Bear him a son.
Yes, Mother.
Raise him to crave your love.
Yes, Mother.
Obey him.
Yes, Mother.
Men will protect you if you love them enough.
Yes, Mother.
Be safe.
Yes, Mother.
I wish I had more to give you.
I'll miss you.
You're still so young.
I love you.
I had to let you go.
You're not losing me.
I'm giving you away.
Mother takes her hands off Penelope's shoulder and walks away. Penelope stands to follow her, but her dress has caught on something. By the time she fixes it, her mother has left. Scene 7.5. Persephone pinches pennies. Hello, my dear viewers of The Real Mortals of Ithaca, the Prophecy, the series. For those of you that were too cheap to buy the ad-free version of Olympus Plus, I don't blame you. The nectar economy's been taking recently. Am I right? But you know what happens to gods who don't take risks during hard times? They stay poor. So I'll let you in on a little secret. Nectar might lose value, but olives never will. Olives. Salty, tangy, very satisfying to dump on annoying mortals who disrespect you. For the cheap price of 7% of your godly powers, and for you Olympians, a special discount to 4%, you can purchase a stake of Hermes' olive venture capitalist consultancy mom and pop business. Spots are running out as quickly as Zeus is sticking his dick where it doesn't belong. DM us at We Sell Love Not Olives, or for you Luddites, Call 1-800-ALL-A-SUCKER. Again, that's 1-800-ALL-A-SUCKER.
You're the queen of the underworld. Can't you pay for ad-free?
Persephone is discreetly fiddling with a big red telephone.
You mortals spend all your money on avocado toast and Starbucks coffee. You wouldn't begin to fathom the importance of saving. How do you think I paid off the mortgage to the underworld? If I let Hades figure it out, we'd still be groveling to Gaia every equinox to keep our interest rate low. And Ancestral mother my ass, that old lady tries to scrape us for every damn drop.
Annoyed rumble.
You're only mad because it's true, Gaia. Speaking of Ancestral mother, one of you has some intense mommy issues.
Are you sure it's not you?
I should have known it was you. How does she feel about Spencer?
She adores him.
Would it be accurate to say she adores his possession of male genitals?
Have you ever heard of this thing called boundaries?
Can't say I have.
A muffled voice interspersed with static comes from the phone receiver. Persephone perks up.
I just, my lady, you're not actually calling the weird olive scammers.
Scammer?
I was thinking that a 1-800-olive sucker doesn't sound like a legitimate business. Of course, you are infinitely wise and all-knowing.
And so obviously, I was calling the Olympus Department of Commerce to report such egregiously fake idiots. I mean, I'm just offended at how much they underestimated our intelligence, because we definitely have a lot of it. I mean, intelligence. Oh, they put me on hold. Bureaucracy. Am I right? I'll call it back later.
Scene 8. Homecoming. Penelope sits on a throne wearing an elaborate crown. Antheia kneels for Penelope.
Speak. I'm sorry. It's been years. I didn't want to leave. You could have written. I couldn't have. How did you find me here in Ithaca?
Your union with Odysseus is the talk of the land. Congratulations on your wedding, Penelope. I trust you're happy.
Where were you?
I don't want to lie.
Then don't. Just tell me.
I can't.
Even now, you won't tell me the truth. What am I to you? Why are you here?
I came back because I love you. I fought hard for you.
How can I believe that?
You can choose to believe.
I chose you over everything once.
Do you regret it?
I should have known better.
But you don't regret it.
I hate you.
I love you.
That's not enough.
I don't know what more I can do.
Then figure it out. And come back when you know.
Don't have anywhere to go.
Oh, so you came here thinking I would take you back. You really don't understand, do you? You've never had blood run down your wrists as you dig your palms into thorns because they're all that's left. They're all that's real because you looked straight ahead as you walked away. You don't understand that you broke something that wasn't yours.
I didn't have a choice.
You always have a choice.
I know I hurt you.
Please go. Come back when you understand. Come back and make me believe you.
Penelope watches as Antheia leaves. When Antheia exits, Penelope tosses her crown roughly where Antheia knelt. Penelope covers her face with her hands. Scene 9. Forgiveness. Can you imagine? It's raining hard because it's more romantic that way. Antheia stands in Penelope's garden. Penelope looks at Antheia through her window, and Antheia looks back at Penelope. Antheia doesn't shout, as one typically would to be heard through thick rain in a window. It's almost as if it doesn't matter whether Penelope can hear. It's almost as if we know what comes next.
I need you. And I have nothing to offer you. I can't walk away from you. I wish I could. I don't know what happiness looks like without you, and I doubt such a thing exists. I'm scared, Penelope. It is terrifying to be unmoored, not to have anywhere to come back to, not to have an embrace or even a smile to count on. I don't want to be alone anymore. I once belonged to you, Penelope. Do I still? Is your life better without me in it? No, don't answer that. I'll tell you whatever you want to hear, but don't answer that. Did you want to know that I was in pain? That I missed you? That I only kept myself from the edge of the precipice because I imagined you would want me back? Tell me you're not so different now that you can live without me. Tell me I'm not too late. Please, let me in.
Penelope stares at Antheia, as if she has never seen her before. But soon enough, Antheia is familiar again, and Penelope has no choice but to open the window and tell Antheia,
You'll catch cold. Come in.
Scene 10. Hold up.
Wait a second. Penelope didn't just forget Antheia, did she? God, that would be so fucking stupid.
How interesting, Diane. I thought you didn't care.
I still don't. It's just, what the hell? Antheia just straight up leaves and goes no contact for how many years?
Long enough for Penelope to get married?
Antheia didn't even apologize. She didn't say she was sorry.
Why does that matter?
How does Penelope know otherwise?
Know what, Diane?
Nothing. What is an apology ever good for? It changes nothing.
It does. It's a promise that things will be different, that Penelope's forgiveness means something.
Penelope's capitulation means more. Why willingly place yourself at someone's mercy when there's a less demeaning way to get what you want?
Because you love them.
Sounds fiery.
It's a shitty way to treat someone, and it's familiar to me.
I wonder why.
Scene 11. Luck. 1 year later, Penelope is weaving and unweaving. Penelope intentionally does not look at Antheia. Antheia sighs deeply, then drapes her body on a chair, then sits upright. Antheia peers at Penelope over the loom every 30 seconds until Penelope, resigned, acknowledges Antheia's presence by tilting her head sideways. Penelope continues weaving through the scene. Her answers come slowly. Antheia's answers directly follow Penelope's.
I'm in love with her, I think. No, I'm sure.
That's good.
She loves me back. I can tell.
Lovely.
Sandra's so beautiful.
She is.
Do you really think she loves me back?
You must know better than I do.
What Cassandra and I have, it's special. She's special.
I'm sure she is.
She's the only one I would change my life for. I've never felt this way about anyone before.
Right.
This doesn't change anything about us, of course. You're my best friend. You will always be the most important person in my life.
Even when you're in love with her?
Yes. You know, it's lucky I never fell in love with you.
I suppose so.
I could never fall in love with you, not with someone who knows me as well as you do.
Is that right?
I'm so glad I have you in my life.
I'm happy you feel that way.
Scene 12. With abandon. Penelope continues her weaving from the previous scene. Antheia walks in a big circle around the stage. By the time she comes back to Penelope, Antheia has reunited with Cassandra and had her heart broken by her, but not irreparably.
Sandra won't choose me.
Is she in love with another?
No, she can't be. She loves me.
Then why? Is she scared?
I can't give her what she wants.
What does she want?
Child.
I'm sorry.
She still loves me. That's the only thing that matters.
It's not.
What do you mean?
what she wants matters. Her happiness matters.
That's obvious.
Is it? Sometimes I doubt that.
I care for her.
I want her to be happy.
But would you step away if the only way she could be happy was to forget you?
There's always another way. You don't abandon the people you love.
Letting go is not the same as abandoning.
It is to me.
You let go of someone because you don't want to abandon them.
You let go of someone because you give up on them. Because you're done trying and they're not worth it anymore.
Antheia, I want you to be happy.
Sandra makes me happy.
Weren't you happy before her?
No, not exactly.
Scene 13. Night. Dan and Sky are in the living room of a small flat. Dan throws some glass items into her suitcase and zips it up.
I'm leaving.
Don't go.
You'll be fine.
I'm your best friend.
I'm in love.
So you're punishing me?
You'll never understand.
I'm trying.
He makes me feel safe. He wants me, Sky. He'll never leave.
I'm right here.
We're friends.
You'd stay if I was in love with you?
No, I'd always worry you'd leave first.
Why would I do that?
Because you're the best person I know.
You deserve better than the life Spencer can give you.
Not everyone dreams of ending up alone like you do.
I'm not alone. You never made me feel alone before.
I wish you could be happy for me.
I wish you were happy.
I am happy.
I don't believe you.
Fuck you. This is exactly why I'm leaving. You and your sanctimonious bullshit, always acting like you could live my life better if you just had the chance.
I always knew this is how you'd leave me.
What's that supposed to mean?
So goddamn obsessed with being loved, with being normal, that you sacrifice everyone around you to get there. I would have stayed. You know that. If you could just stop being paranoid.
Paranoid? That's a little ironic considering your family history. What would your mother say? Oh wait, she can't. She left you because she never even wanted you. I bet she's happier now.
You've changed.
So have you.
This isn't you.
And I'm supposed to care?
I'll save you.
Go to hell.
Together then.
What are you?
Sky grabs a pair of scissors from the coffee table and stabs Diane. Sky and Diane both scream.
Have you had a nice nap?
What?
No, you didn't miss much. Oh wait, Cassandra slapped Antheia, but she totally deserved it. Are you thirsty? How about some pomegranate juice?
That felt real.
It hurt.
Did you?
Yeah, but that's not...
Sky flexes over at Persephone. Diane abruptly stops talking.
The underworld won't run itself. Excuse me a moment, will you?
Persephone walks through the door, closes it, and presses her ear to the door.
That's not what happened, right?
No, definitely not.
I never said...
I know you wouldn't.
And you definitely wouldn't.
Just stab you in the chest with scissors?
When I left our apartment, you said you were happy for me. I'm remembering this correctly?
Yes.
You asked me to stay, but you were just teasing me. It was a joke.
You were upset with me.
What?
You were. That part was true.
No.
Diane, tell me the truth. You're all I have here. I'm scared.
I told you we were engaged and you told me not to marry him.
You knew how I felt about him.
I shouldn't have to beg for your respect.
I didn't ask you to. Did you want me to lie?
No, I wanted you to be on my side.
I've always been there. Always.
I felt so alone.
You left me alone.
I was happy. I am happy. But you look at me with those eyes and you pity me. The way you're looking at me now, don't look at me. Don't fucking...
Persephone opens the door and walks in.
So many people keep dying. It's exhausting. Oh, have I interrupted a method acting? There's definitely some potential here. If you want, I can make some calls to alert the city.
No!
Testy.
Sky tries to hold Diane's hand, but Diane shifts away.
We'll be okay. I promise.
Yeah, well, thanks. I'm still here. In hell.
Diane, you are not in hell. You are in a particularly pleasant form of purgatory, where your only duty is to entertain me. And you're succeeding.
Thanks for the clarification. I definitely asked for it.
I don't understand what you have to complain about. I made sure to bring your best friend with you so you wouldn't be lonely. Was there some sort of mistake?
No mistake. Oh, look, an olive tree.
Scene 14. Live. Penelope is pacing back and forth in her bedroom. Olive lays on Penelope's bed. Trees can lay on beds.
I've got to live. I've got to hate, loathe, dream, stray. I will live on as a memory, as the model of a faithful wife who used to chide women into place, but that's not living. I want to live while I'm still here, with her.
It would be wise. You see how even now, as Antheia professes her devotion to you, her heart wanders in search of beauty.
I know I am not beautiful enough for her.
No one is, Penelope. You have to see that.
You don't know her like I do. I'm everything she's ever wanted.
Does she act like it?
She told me so.
That is not the same.
She's beautiful. I love her eyes, which are capable of seeing beauty in everything.
Only to wreck it herself.
I love her. She's my best friend.
Perhaps she was when you first met, but friendship is a child's game. Now it is only a lesser love that can be shed without guilt.
But it's my favorite love.
I'm sorry.
I can't shed my friendship. I'm nothing without it.
You are Odysseus's wife.
I would rather be a good friend than a good wife.
You can be both for your husband.
I can comfort him. I can lie with him. I can lie for him. But I cannot be his equal. He wouldn't love me anymore if I dared.
He is a good man.
Yet he is a man.
A man who makes you smile, feel safe.
A man convinced I loved him first.
You did nothing to dissuade him.
I told him I didn't know what love was.
He would have been concerned if you had known.
Every day he tells me he loves me. Every day I say it back and I feel like the most wretched woman because any other could say it and mean it with all her heart. Yet he chose me, loves me.
You love him too.
I love him as a companion, as a shelter, as someone I can trust to love me always. I do not love him as a man. I don't think I ever could.
Could you try?
I have broken myself trying.
Antheia will not solve your problems.
Antheia helps me forget.
You're stronger than that, Penelope.
Why should I have to be?
Scene 15. Home. Later that day, still in Penelope's bedroom, Odysseus brushes Penelope's hair for a few moments and starts to braid it.
You're not very good, Odysseus. My maid will only have to do it again.
Allow a man his simple pleasures, my love. I can't be good at everything.
What make you happy?
More than I thought possible.
Why do you favor me?
I don't understand.
I was a consolation prize. You hoped to marry Helen.
When I first saw you, I knew I could never trust anyone else like I could trust you. I could stay sane as long as I was tethered to you. I've never wavered. What have I done to give you doubt?
I was told not to expect to keep you. It would be hubris to believe I was all you would need.
You are all I need. You guide me home. You are home.
You are my world.
Our children lack the most kind mother.
The most intelligent father.
Is that something you want?
You need an heir. I am your wife.
I will spend the rest of my life with you. I don't want you to resent me.
I was born to be a mother. My feelings have no place in this decision.
Then what does?
You're a good man, but in time you will be a great man, and I refuse to be your weakness.
You can never be my weakness.
That is a naivete that I am not allowed.
I wish it were different.
I can't do this alone, Odysseus.
I'll be here. I'll always be here.
Scene 16. Persephone's fine with bribery.
Liar.
What was that?
He's lying. I know how this goes.
You tell.
He'll leave once the baby's born to fight in the stupid Trojan War.
Odysseus didn't want to leave. He pretended to be insane but couldn't bring himself to plow over his son.
He shouldn't have made a promise he couldn't keep.
He didn't know. None of us do, and we still promise.
He should have. Isn't he supposed to be the smartest of them all?
Thank you for that generous interpretation.
How kind of you to join us. Pomegranate?
Lady of the night, you understand I cannot stay. Not if you want to see the end.
Oh, I know. I was just trying to be hospitable. Diane, Sky, say hello to Odysseus.
He was just in there, in the TV screen. Now he's dead?
Pleasure to meet you. Understandable inquiry, but no, I'm not.
Is he an actor then? Is this a prank show?
Perhaps in the Queen's eyes, I'm a mere actor, but no. This show is my life.
How are you okay with that?
We all perform. I cannot be offended that I have an audience.
Why did you come here?
I invited him.
He's supposed to be building the Trojan horse and gouging out the eye of the Cyclops or something.
Dear Diane, let me show you what I have been saving.
Odysseus, what a stand-up, chill guy. Here we see him pouring over this gigantic map. He's got some real important strategy. And look at his forearms. I mean, wow! No wonder the ladies are swooning. But he only has eyes for Penelope. Oh, look. Now he's trying to stop Agamemnon and Achilles from fighting. And ooh! He got punched in the face. But even with a bruise, he looks oh so dreamy. Staring out across the sea. Dreaming of the day he returns to Ithaca.
You see, none of this is particularly new. And this time around, Odysseus is not the main character.
I'm very grateful for that.
So I bribed Olympus TV to stitch together some footage of Odysseus and insert it whenever the audience might wonder what he's up to. They did a good job. Look at those forearms.
They're not particularly remarkable.
Do not argue with the goddess. I believe I have already been through the smiting spiel with you.
Yes, my lady.
So, do you know everything that Penelope...
She's like, not in love with you.
I figured.
Are you here to watch? Will that be painful?
Only because I do love her. I know how it hurts her. But I'm not here to watch. There is someone I would like to meet, if the Queen would allow it.
Of course, Odysseus. Go on.
Odysseus opens a door to the scene, and previously Diane and Sky entered. This time, there is a cobblestone path. Odysseus bows to Persephone, nods his head at Diane and Sky, and walks away. Diane and Sky exchange a glance.
Truth be told, the show is much more entertaining when he's not in it.
I might actually agree with you there.
Scene 17. Freeze. Penelope and Antheia are looking at a sleeping baby, Telemachus. Penelope touches the baby's hand with one finger. The baby's fingers curl around it.
He's so small, helpless.
He's beautiful.
I'm scared. I don't know if I can love him the way he deserves to be loved.
You will. You're his mother.
I'm not ready to be soil and wind and sun and rain for him. I have to protect him alone, love him alone. I'm all alone.
I'm here.
He needs Odysseus. He needs his father.
Odysseus will come back.
He wanted a child. He wanted me to want a child. He made me think I had a choice. Maybe I did, and I was too weak to make the right one. I wonder if he's fallen in love with another. I wonder if he did it for me. I want him. I need him. I can't do this without him. Please, please come back. He promised me. I'm not right for this. He said he would always be here, but he's not here, and he's killed people, and he doesn't need me, and it's my fault!
Penelope, please. Tell me how I can make it better. There has to be something I can do. I'll do anything for you.
This isn't about you, Antheia. Don't you see? Not everything is about you. Don't leave! I don't want you here. You need me, and he needs me, and I have nothing left to give. You broke me. I never asked for you to come back.
But you wanted me to come back, right? You were so happy.
Because I thought you came back for me. But you came back for who I was at 15, someone whose love for you was whole and pure, and you found me tarnished.
That's not true, Penelope. I love you. That's why I came back. That's why I do anything.
This isn't about you. Why can you never understand that? Why do you hurt me? Why do you love me?
You don't love for a reason.
You do. You love because you're terrified. You love because if you stopped loving, you'd have to look back at the carnage you left in your wake. You love because you ruin people, and it's all you know how to do, and it's more beautiful to say you love them instead.
Do you mean that?
Yes! No. Don't leave me, please. I'm sorry. I wish you'd never been born to me. I needed to stop. I can't hear myself think.
Penelope braces herself against the wall, taking fast and shallow breaths. Her eyes are tightly shut. Antheia takes a step toward Penelope. I can make it stop.
Make it stop.
You don't mean that.
Make it stop. Make it stop. Make it stop. You're hurting me. Please. Please.
Antheia drops the mirror she was holding and takes Telemachus in her arms. Antheia exits without looking back.
Please. Please. Please.
Penelope's body becomes limp and she falls on the floor. Scene 18. Spare. A month has passed. Antheia enters holding a baby.
You came back.
I will always come back.
You didn't have to leave.
I thought it would be better.
You always think you know what's best for me, even when I'm begging you to listen.
I'm sorry.
For what?
For us?
Me too. You hurt me.
Yes.
Did you mean to?
Yes.
You should love someone else.
I don't want to. I can't.
You will. I know you will.
Take him.
Can I trust you?
I said take him.
I don't recognize you.
Take him. Take your son. Take him away from me now. Penelope takes the baby and sets him down in a crib. Penelope looks at the baby closely, then almost smiles.
I was foolish to think you were done hurting me. This boy isn't my son. If I know you, you gave him to Cassandra.
You didn't want the child. She did.
I never said I didn't want him.
You wished he had never been born to you.
You took what I said when I was weak and twisted it to whatever you wanted to hear. It doesn't matter. You can fix this, bring Telemachus back to me, and return this boy to his mother.
He doesn't have one. I found him abandoned.
Please don't lie to me anymore.
It's the truth.
He can stay here, but bring me back my son.
Sandra left. She took him and she left me.
Find her. You know her. You know where she might have gone. Go after her.
I don't know much about her.
You love her.
I'm so sorry.
Fine. If you can't find her and my son, I will. I'll send my husband's soldiers.
What will you tell them?
That my son has been kidnapped. I'm sure you'll cooperate.
I can't.
After all this,
I love her.
you love me too. She left you.
She loves me still.
I can have you tortured. I can make you talk.
Can you do that to me? After everything? No one has to know, Penelope. Not the soldiers, not Odysseus, not even this young boy. Cassandra will take care of your son.
You're insane.
She desperately wanted a son. She will care for him with her whole heart, the way you always wished you could. And the boy will live as Telemachus because history needs an heir to Odysseus.
You're asking me to live a lie to spare you.
I would do the same.
You're asking me because you know I can't deny you.
I trust you.
You're a coward.
I never learned to be brave.
You never tried.
Scene 19. Why don't they just leave?
How delightful. I didn't see that switcheroo coming at all. And they're in so much pain. Such puny, fleeting, meaningless pain. It's adorable. I can hug you two right now. This might finally be correct. I've waited so long.
You're insane.
Pardon?
This isn't funny anymore. There's a child. A mother lost her child.
It happens.
Because you wanted it to.
That's not true. It happened, and I appreciate that it did. It's art, not life. Can you see the beauty?
No,
Penelope and Antheia aren't real.
neither are we. Not really, not to you.
So pretty doesn't become real.
Let us go. We're not doing this anymore.
You're abandoning them now? When they need you more than ever?
You just said they're not real.
You didn't believe me, did you? You're too smart for that.
I can't imagine anything but more misery for them.
That's fine. They'll still get clothes.
That's not what they want.
Ever the expert, Sky. Then give them what they want.
No. Diane, come on. Let's get out of here.
Now don't you want to do that?
Leave us alone.
She's dangerous.
She never hurt me.
A corner of Persephone's mouth curls up. Persephone snaps her fingers, and the sound reverberates and builds around the room. Diane stumbles. Sky catches Diane.
Diane, what happened the last time you were alone with Sky?
What did you do to her?
Diane, would you ever hurt Sky? No. Have you ever stopped hurting them? Do you even remember how?
Stop it. I don't believe you.
Diane, how did you die?
Please, just stop. I'll do anything.
Diane, did you kill Sky?
It wasn't.
Isn't it a bit late for excuses?
Stop. Make it stop. It hurts.
The answer is yes, in case it wasn't obvious.
I don't believe that.
I'm sorry, Sky.
Is it true?
Yes.
The memory must be fake.
I don't think that's true.
That's not important right now. She hurt you. We need to leave.
Diane doesn't deserve you.
Will you stop us?
Me? I would never.
Come on, Diane.
I don't think. Sky, look.
Sky puts Diane's arm around her shoulder to prop Diane up. They open the door they entered, expecting to find stairs or cobblestone, but instead find nothing. Sky puts one foot gingerly forward. Doesn't catch on anything. Diane looks at Sky. Persephone snaps her fingers. Sky and Diane fly back to the couch.
How ungrateful you both are for my hospitality. Do you find that this room lacks scorpions, or lava, or frozen yogurt? That can be easily remedied. When will it get through your thick mortal head that you have no power here? There is nowhere else in the underworld because I don't care to imagine outside this room. Not for you. I could easily let the void swallow you and start fresh with two different worlds.
You won't do that.
Sky, I don't.
She won't. She doesn't care about us, but she wants our narrative. She won't let go so easily.
Sky, I do quite like stories. And I know your story can measure up to more than a pithy demise. You have such potential, beyond walking 2 steps behind someone who will only look back to remind herself she's ahead. I'd rather save you. But to nurture my favorite stories, others must be destroyed.
By all means, continue convincing yourself that everything is under your control.
I'm not your enemy. Diane is the reason you died. I have no reason to plant lies when the truth serves me better.
Then give me back my memory of what happened.
If you truly trust Diane, you shouldn't need it. But just doubt it, though you can see with love.
Sky, I can explain.
Don't. Not for her.
Do you believe me?
I believe you love me.
Yes. That's the exact level of delusion I want you two to have going into the climax of the show.
Does the show ever end?
How silly. Of course it does. I watch so many variations, so the ending is always the same.
Then why do you keep watching?
So it makes sense.
Scene 20. Run. Penelope and Antheia are lying on the ground. Their heads are next to each other, but their bodies point in opposite directions.
Tell Marcus's girl.
He has. Better than I had hoped, with a missing father and barely a mother.
You tried your best.
Watch your words, Antheia.
Haven't you forgiven me?
It's not your place to ask.
So much has changed since then.
Not enough.
There are creases around your eyes.
There are wisps of gray in your hair.
I've never loved you since. Not once.
I hadn't noticed.
I begged you to forgive me.
I don't remember.
I brought you flowers.
They make good kindling.
Can't do this.
What can I possibly do that you haven't already done?
Stop believing in me.
How can I believe in you when I can't even look at you?
Do I disgust you?
Yes.
Antheia stares at her reflection in the mirror. She rolls above her.
Don't you dare leave.
How did you know?
I resent how well I understand you. It's in the way you breathe, how your hands fall at your sides. You're quiet.
can't. It stifles me.
Leave with me.
No,
The suitors won't wait forever.
I don't need forever. Odysseus is coming.
You're leaving his funeral shroud.
I would know if he had died.
You don't need him.
I need him more than I need you. You keep hurting me.
I keep hurting you.
I keep taking you back.
You keep taking me back.
Why?
I don't know.
So we're here.
We're here
As long as it takes to see the story through.
to see the story through.
We live and die for them.
We loved for them.
If we made someone happy, is that enough?
If we made them miserable, that would be enough.
But we did everything they wanted.
You don't always like what you want.
I, of all people, know that.
Kill me.
Why?
Because it would be mundane. Because everyone saw it coming.
I don't want to kill you.
Even if it would stop me from loving you.
Yes, even then.
Can I kill you?
I wouldn't mind it.
Persephone runs to the TV and kneels in front of it.
You can't do that. You need to stay alive until Odysseus comes back.
I was hoping they'd tire of us at some point, so I could see you truly.
I think we did. Sometimes. Persephone shakes the TV.
It's not too late. Get up, Antheia. Tell the suitors why the burial shroud will never be finished.
I was going to betray you again.
You changed your mind?
Yes.
Why?
Just so tired.
Me too.
They won't listen to me anymore. They're broken.
Cool. Antheia peers into her mirror. She makes as if to shatter it. Penelope takes it from her. Antheia doesn't resist. Penelope places it in front of Persephone. Penelope takes the unfinished burial shroud from the loom and returns to Antheia's side. Penelope drapes the shroud over them both. They close their eyes. Persephone screams. Scene 21. But
They can't do this. They've never done this. You did this. Everything was fine before. I had everything under control. What did you do?
Nothing. I didn't want them to suffer anymore, but I didn't do anything.
Their pain means nothing. In a few moments, they would have been dead, and they would bathe in the Lethe and forget every concern that plagued their miserable little lives. If I can derive a morsel of pleasure from that, why shouldn't I? There was something here, something real. The ending was all I needed. This could have been the end of everything.
I'm sorry I'm not like you. I don't know how to make pleasure from misery.
No, bring them back.
rumbles get progressively louder. The room begins to shake, and things start falling off the wall.
This is all I have. Why are you taking it from me?
You brought us here.
You miserable. I saved you. I heard you calling for help and I listened. I took pity on you. Do you have any idea?
I know.
What?
You didn't bring us here to hurt us. And the reason you watch this show isn't because you enjoy seeing Penelope and Antheia suffer. You're Persephone. I remember how lonely you are, who you miss.
Don't you dare speak her name. You know nothing.
Penelope reminds you of Diane, doesn't she? Of losing her. And you, like Antheia, are always too late. But the story doesn't make sense. Not completely. You want to be convinced this is the only way a story like theirs can end. That there is nothing you could have done. You think you brought us here to perfect a tragedy. You don't remember ever wanting them to be happy because they don't deserve it, because you don't either. But you did once. I know it.
No. You couldn't possibly understand.
I do, though. Because I heard Sky too, and she still stayed. I was responsible for our deaths, and they still held me in their arms as the world fell apart. And you're the one that doesn't understand how I still have her, and you have no one. You thought you wanted us to give up on each other, and that was what you needed to walk away. But instead, we made you remember how you wanted the story to go the first time. You remember desperately wishing for everyone to be happy, long past the point it was reasonable to wish such a thing.
I don't know. You
deserve a different story. Cayenne would want you to live. I know that.
I can't believe you. I can't see what happens next.
It's okay. Take my hand.
One day, you'll forget that anything ever happened.
Persephone, who had been reaching for Sky's hand, flies at Diane in a fury. Sky tries to tear them apart. They collectively fall on the TV, which shatters against the ground. While TVs don't typically shatter, this one does, and quite dramatically too. The next handful of scenes are memories. They're not happening in real time. They're not even happening in chronological order. Scene 22, Joe. Diane and Joe are in separate beds on opposite sides of the stage. It should be clear they are in different rooms. Diane is incredibly drunk. Joe is asleep. Diane picks up her phone and makes a call. Joe's phone rings. He wakes, and after checking who's calling, he smiles ruefully and picks up.
Hi.
Hi. What time is it there?
6 a.m.?
Oh. Why do you pick up?
Because you called.
I miss the way you loved me.
Well, I thought you were happy with that Spencer book.
I am. We're great. I love him.
That's good. I'm glad to hear it.
Are you, Joe? Are you glad to hear I'm in love with him?
It's not like you still love me. Do you still love me?
Answer me first.
We loved each other so truly when we were younger. Any love we try now will only be a shadow of what it was.
Did you stop loving me?
Yes,
How?
I decided not to love you.
That's not how love works.
It is for me.
You're very lucky.
You don't seem happy for me,
I am happy.
which is why you're calling me in the middle of the night drunk.
Spencer and I, we're getting married.
This is a bizarre wedding invitation.
You're not invited.
Good. Flights are expensive these days.
Sky doesn't like him.
Sky didn't like me.
They hate him more.
I'm flattered.
I guess never truly felt like we were done. We never said goodbye.
Oh.
Yeah.
Would you like me to visit so we can break up in person?
You wouldn't fly for my wedding, but you would do it to break up with me?
I thought I wasn't invited to your wedding.
You prick!
I missed you, Diane.
I missed you too, you asshole.
I still want to be in your life. We can be friends. Good friends.
No, Joe, we can't.
I care about you.
I remember how you spoke to me and touched me and loved me. I'm glad it was easy for you to forget.
I didn't say it was easy.
It was easier for you than for me.
You wanted to break up.
You didn't fight me.
I respected your decision.
You're fucking stupid sometimes.
I've been told. Exclusively by you, actually.
I won't talk to you anymore. I can't.
I love you.
I'm blocking you on everything.
Just remember, I do love you.
I'm unlinking you on LinkedIn.
I'm happy we knew each other so well.
I'm unfriending you on Duolingo.
Pity. You'll never know if you actually picked up Swedish.
I love you too.
Diane hangs up on Joe. Diane takes a deep breath, then calls Spencer.
I'll marry you.
Scene 23, Alfredo. Persephone stares at a lone pasta strand wrapped around a fork.
Well, Alfredo, I know you are a limp strand of spaghetti that I saved from last night's dinner, but you could deign to talk to me. Or at least bow. I am an immortal goddess, after all. I can send your soul to eternal damnation, and I want to lose sleep over it. I'd like to sleep, though. It sounds peaceful. Cayenne would want that for me. Right, Alfredo?
Persephone, wide-eyed, shakes the fork. The pasta unrolls itself from the fork. Persephone furrows her brows.
It's like that then. That's fine. I prefer linguine to spaghetti anyway. That's what I get for taking pity on you. I thought you looked lonely.
Persephone puts the fork down on the coffee table made of human femurs. She crosses her arms.
No, I'm not lonely. I don't know where you got that idea.
Fine, I can't mind it. When I leave the underworld, I spend my days curled into the dried up earth where Cayenne's spring used to be. I didn't ask her to protect me. I would have gone willingly if I'd known that would keep her safe. She smiled. Can you believe that? Like she was at peace. Like her death at the hands of my husband meant something. It didn't, of course. Not to anyone but me. They waited for me to outgrow her, neatly take off my childhood and bury it someplace I can't possibly forget, but still do. I guess they were patient enough. Until one day, they got bored. The audience can only derive so much enjoyment from watching two girls throw flower petals at each other. No, just hold on, Alfredo, I have to show you something.
Persephone snatches the remote from the table and turns on the TV. The Real Mortals of Ithaca, the original, not the reboot, is playing. It's a gruesome scene. Lots of blood.
Look, that's what happens when you don't grow up on schedule.
The blood has been cleaned up, mostly. Odysseus and Penelope are holding hands, sitting on a hill, watching the sunset. Romantic music plays, and it is the happy ending. Really. The words get bigger and bigger until they fill the screen.
Oh, happy ending. That's good. So I'll work with it. Do I get one, Alfredo? Is this it? Is this the happy ending I deserve? Talking to anthropomorphized pasta while hiding from my husband? Is it fair? Is Penelope thinking about Antheia? Is that Antheia's blood on Penelope's dress? Who won?
The first episode of the first reboot of The Real Mortals of Ithaca begins to play. How Olympus TV even has any subscribers with this kind of work is a mystery. Persephone reaches for the remote, but instead of turning it off, she turns up the volume.
Don't look at me like that, Alfredo. I just want to figure out why it happened this way. Besides, everyone is happy in the first episode. They have to be. Otherwise, we don't care when they die.
Scene 24. Him. On the other side of the stage, Sky and Diane are standing in line for a self-checkout, each holding an armful of groceries. The line barely moves throughout the entire scene.
He has a framed picture of Mark Zuckerberg hanging over his bed.
I love him.
He's anti-union.
I love him.
He thinks white men are being oppressed in academia.
I love him.
His favorite genre of music is EDM.
I love him.
Literally none of your friends can stand him.
I love him.
You don't even like him.
I love him.
I won't be your maid of honor if you marry him.
I love him.
I'll just sit in the back with my arms and legs crossed and leave before the reception.
I love him.
I might not come at all.
I love him.
You were so young when you met him.
I love him.
You can do so much better.
I love him.
I bet when you look in the mirror together, you think about how much hotter you are than he is.
I love him.
You feel guilty.
I love him.
You love how desperately he loves you.
I love him.
You love how he would never leave you first.
I love him.
You love how you're better than him.
I love him.
It's not my place to save you.
I love him.
Don't marry him.
I love him.
I love you too, Diane.
Scene 25. Wise Sky. It's raining. Diane discovers Sky on Diane's porch, sopping wet.
I broke up with Alice.
What?
But don't make me say it again.
What happened?
She slept with someone else.
Why?
She couldn't figure out how to say no without hurting his feelings.
I have a girlfriend wasn't good enough?
Too direct, apparently.
Well, fuck. Come inside.
I miss her.
You can miss her inside.
No.
You're being unreasonable.
I ended things with the love of my life. I left her in our apartment. It was the first time I've seen her cry. I'm not being unreasonable.
What did she say?
That she understood. That she'd never find someone like me again, and she wouldn't try.
What did you say?
That she should remember to drink water and to roll out the garbage can on Tuesday nights.
That's it?
What else is there to say?
I don't know. You could be mad. The word betrayal comes to mind. It might even be appropriate to indulge in a little misogyny given the occasion.
She didn't mean to hurt me.
That matters to you?
Of course it does.
You really don't want to come inside.
Yeah.
Fine.
Diane and Sky sit on the porch. Diane gets up and goes into the rain without her umbrella.
What are you doing?
Getting full experience.
Silly.
Goose.
Sky joins Diane in the rain. Sky starts laughing.
What's so funny? I don't know.
Scene 26. Deja vu. Persephone is huddled under a blanket on the couch, eyes red from too much screen time, holding a bowl of popcorn. Alfredo now has googly eyes and a bow tie, stands upright on the coffee table with the help of a wine glass.
I should stop watching. 500 reboots is enough. I think I don't know what they're trying to tell me anymore. I don't think they know either. Sometimes I get the oddest feeling that I'm the only one who's still watching. So they suffer over and over again for my sake. But at least they have someone who cares what happens. I mean, I know what will happen. Odysseus will come back to Penelope and they will be happy. Antheia will betray Penelope and die a terrible death. That's all they know how to do. It's entirely unreasonable to hope for something different. But why should I hope for that? These mortals are weak, and they can afford to be, because they don't have to live with the consequences of their actions forever. A decade, or 2, or 5, or 10, and poof! They're dead! And in their final moments, they draw me to them, and have the audacity to beg me to give them back their fucked up little lives. Please! I know better now, I won't let it happen again! I know they will. I gave some of them another chance. They still ignored suffering to get a good night's sleep. They still wrecked the person they loved. Then they forgot it ever happened. But I couldn't. Now, I resist the summons of the dying. Even when the truly desperate succeed in calling me, I look away, as the last tales of unbroken promises and true love leak out of their bodies unheeded. I can't watch her die anymore. Not when I know I am powerless to help them. I never found crying again, but they all share fragments of her. None yet with her particular insolence, but eventually. I have nothing but time. Humans have got torture all around. Who really needs all 10 fingernails anyway? If it were up to me, I'd simply never let the dead cross the river Lethe before they are reborn. Let them close their eyes and see their body marked with scars that never healed. Let them flinch each time they're touched because they remember how easily trust is given and betrayed. Let them be stripped of hope. Let them be alone. Let them be lonely.
Persephone drinks from the wine glass. Alfredo topples over. Persephone sighs.
No. They do not deserve immortality simply because I have been cursed with it. But perhaps I need them. I need their desperation and forgetfulness and imperfection to fix this stupid story or to stop me from fighting it.
Persephone turns on the TV. 2 women appear next to Persephone, disoriented and panicking. Cheerful music indicating the start of the 501st regroup of the Real Mortals of Ithaca plays. Scene 27. Why Diane? Diane lies in her own bed, slowly closing and opening her one eye.
In the dark, I practice winking. I'm not sure how closing one eye while keeping the other open is sexy exactly, but men tell me it is. Maybe it's the other way around. If you look at men through only one eye, you can see only half of their red flags. Half the times, they'll give you a panic attack. Half the times, they won't remember how to love you. Half the times, they tell you no one will love you better, and you believe them. Half the times, you'll sit next to them, wondering how the hell you ended up here, and if it makes you a bad person, you'd rather be with your friends instead. So maybe I'm only half a lesbian. I will only let women hurt half of me. The half that likes looking up at the sky. The half that likes catching snowflakes on my tongue. The half that leaves the laundry in the dryer for days. The half that fell in love with you because you hated Yale and loved trees. The half that checks my mailbox every day, but will never send you a letter. My better half. The other half I'll leave to fate. Men, if my mother is right about homosexuality, men can't really hurt me. I can hate them and fuck them and promise them that I love them more than they love me without ever believing it. Men can make me happy. I'm happy. I want to be happy. I want to be loved. I don't need to be in love. Marriage is a social contract.
The phone rings 3 times. Diane takes a deep breath before picking up.
Hi, baby. I'm feeling really great. Excited. So happy. A little nervous, but that's normal. I'm very normal. We're normal, and you are really normal. In a really great way. I've always wanted to be normal. That's all I ever wanted. Sky? Yeah, I don't think she's coming. I saved them a seat, though, in case they show up. Yeah, you're right. It's for the best. I know you never liked her. And, yeah, I get that it's, confusing for you that they use 2 pronouns. And you don't want to be confused on your wedding day. Miss you too. Love you. Love you more. No, I love you more. Of course I know. I'm sure.
Scene 28. Hitch. At the wedding venue, Spencer and Diane are waiting to walk down the aisle. Spencer is walking around, grumbling with a piece of paper in his hands.
Oh! I knew I shouldn't have paid for Bush's speechwriter to write my wedding vows. I told him to stop comparing our future marriage to a war.
Babe, what?
We're supposed to write our own wedding vows, remember?
I can't, right?
You definitely said yes when I asked you on our honeymoon to Jacksonville, Florida.
I don't remember that.
You definitely grunted yes into your pillow when I asked you before my 5 a.m. CrossFit session. You were so enthusiastic. You haven't written it?
Well...
That's all right. Here, take mine. Just switch up Harvard for Yale. McKinsey for that organization thingy. And strong biceps for frail, delicate appendages.
So generous of you. But I think I can come up with something.
Yeah. And if you can't, just start crying. Women are overcome by emotion a lot, right?
Hi.
Oh, it's my turn. In a while, crocodile.
I'm not a reptile.
Spencer walks down the aisle on a walk. It's almost Diane's turn. She has told her parents she will be walking alone. Just as Diane takes a deep breath and raises the flower bouquet to her chest to take the first step, Sky runs to Diane's side in a dashing suit.
I'm here! Sky! Carrie, walk a little slowly. Start walking.
Like towards Spencer? With you.
All those things. Come on.
Diane and Sky start walking toward the altar while whispering to each other.
I didn't think you were coming.
Neither did I.
Do my boobs look good in this dress?
No, but your belt looks great.
Thanks. So I kind of haven't written my vows yet?
That's fine. So you go up to this Spencer character and you say, I wouldn't necessarily say you're the worst man I've ever dated.
I think that's mostly true.
If I had to compare our relationship to food, I would say it's like a kale and orange milkshake.
That's surprisingly apt.
I love you were obsession with Andrew Jackson, the 7th president of the United States.
It's one of his less problematic hobbies.
I can't wait to spend the rest of my life having boring sex with you.
Where boring sex is a metaphor for a stable, loving relationship. Wow, it's really coming together.
No, where boring sex means 1 minute of foreplay, 4 minutes of missionary, and 10 minutes in the bathroom with your vibrator.
I'll take it.
I'm always on your side, Diane. But please don't change your last name. It'd be embarrassing if my best friend was named Diane Spinklebottom.
I'll try.
Sky lets go of Diane's hand at the front of the altar and sits down in an empty seat. There are a lot of those. Diane stands next to Sky. The next part of their wedding is a blur, until we get to the end of Spencer's $10,000 speech.
I promise to love you through the good times and bad. Whether the stock market is up or down. Until people finally believe that global warming is a hoax and there are actually more polar bears now than ever before.
Long, awkward beat as Diane processes exactly how much of an idiot Spencer is.
It's my turn. That's awesome. I'm so ready for this. I, never realized before meeting you, Spencer, that, a lot of things. It's really endearing how you can't spell definitely. And you use a calculator to add 5 and 7 together and think Andrew Jackson was the best president ever.
But he was.
Spencer rumbles from the audience.
What about Ronald Reagan?
Spencer smiles and the audience cheers.
And we have a great sex life.
Dead silence.
I love that it's so fast. It really doesn't cut into my morning routine at all. 1 minute, you're struggling to take off my bra, and the next, you're on the bed panting next to me, asking me if I liked it. And then, if I take a moment to think about it, you ask me again. And after I say yes, you ask me if I'm sure. That's really considerate. You care so much about how I feel. Like the other day, I was crying because my great uncle passed away, and you patted me on the head and said, there, and sent me a $10 gift card for Chuck E. Cheese. And I don't even eat cheese. It actually feels so good to be getting married to you, Spencer, because I had this feeling that it was bound to happen one day. And we'll probably get divorced, but I've always found the idea of being a divorcee kind of sexy. As long as we don't have kids. Thank God for my IUD. Right, Sky?
I mean.
The best part is, I don't love you. I've never loved you, and I definitely don't like you, and I am so out of your league. So I was never insecure or scared at any point in our relationship. Sure, I felt like we were a dumpster fire, but like, you would never kick me out of the dumpster. Wow, that was kind of poetic. Oh my gosh, I had a great idea. This wedding is a fucking dumpster fire, so this is kind of an ideal time for some arson! I've always wanted to commit arson!
Diane grabs a candle from the altar and throws it at a wooden wall. She throws another and runs up the back stairs laughing. Sky follows Diane. Scene 29. Arson isn't that bad.
Are you serious? You didn't think of an escape plan before you set the wedding venue on fire? Your wedding venue made of wood?
I thought we could break a window.
These are 6 inches thick.
You're a climbing lesbian.
What does that have to do with anything?
I thought you had strong arms.
You and your obsession with natural lighting are literally going to be the death of us.
Diane and Sky sit against the floor-to-ceiling window and watch the fire moving towards them. Diane looks out the window, then at Sky. Every line from here on takes as much time as it takes.
Oh, it's golden hour?
You're glowing, Diane.
You're so beautiful.
I know.
I'm sorry. I don't want you to die.
I'm sorry I didn't come sooner.
I'm sorry I stayed.
I'm sorry I left.
If you had another chance at life, will you choose to love me?
I make that choice every day. I will always love you.
Even if I married him?
Yes.
Even if I couldn't love myself?
Yes.
Even if I was a cockroach?
Never mind.
I wonder if they'll let us be dead together.
Who's they?
I don't know. Maybe someone's listening.
Sky takes off her socks and stretches out one foot in the direction of the fire. Persephone has been eavesdropping through the fire. She stumbles back and peers at Sky and Diane to make sure they haven't noticed her. They haven't. Alfredo nudges Persephone. Persephone shakes her head. Alfredo shakes violently. Persephone frowns. Alfredo turns his back on Persephone. Persephone tries to make eye contact, but Alfredo's googly eyes will not meet Persephone's not googly eyes.
She's not even a real lesbian. I'm being blackmailed by pasta. No, I'm being successfully blackmailed by pasta. I don't even know how to spell Deus Ex Machina.
Persephone waves Alfredo like a wand, and all the lights go out. Scene 30. And we're back. Sky, Diane, and Persephone lie on the floor amongst the TV shards. Sky and Diane picks us up gingerly. Persephone sits up and buries her head in her knees.
Go. The door's open.
Sky and Diane look at each other, but don't move.
I want to be alone.
Diane shuffles to the corner of the room with the kitchen net. Alfredo perks up and joins Diane. Sky comes closer to Persephone.
Am I a spectacle for you now? Is this fun for you?
No,
I lost everything.
that's not true.
I just wanted a friend.
I know.
I miss her.
I know.
I want you two to be happy. I can't help it.
I know.
And I wanted Penelope and Antheia to be happy.
I know.
Odysseus enters through the door.
Perhaps I could be of service?
Go away.
Are you sure my forearms won't you guys up?
They're not remarkable.
Odysseus leaves.
I made them suffer.
Don't do that. Not when you can imagine that they're happy.
I can't. I close my eyes and I see Odysseus and Penelope holding hands with Antheia's corpse in the distance. I've seen this too many times.
Dan walks back with mugs and a kettle of tea.
That's oddly considerate. I didn't know you were capable of kind gestures.
Alfredo helped me make it. He brought me water from the river Levy.
I can't drink this.
Yes, you can. Okay, there were a lot of nasty things floating in it, but Alfredo put the water through a breath filter, so it's fine now.
No.
Remembering hurts you. It feels like torture.
I deserve it.
You said you wouldn't lie to us.
I'm the only one who remembers Cayenne as more than a line in a tragedy. I don't want to forget her. Or me. I'm scared that people will make me into something I'm not. I don't mind being forgotten, but I'd rather not be misremembered.
Then tell us about her over some tea, before it gets cold.
There's 3 mugs. This is for us too, isn't it?
It is.
Do we have to?
Yeah, I think so.
I don't want to forget you.
Me neither. But at least we can do it together.
If we forget, who remembers?
Alfredo, he's been taking notes.
Diane pours the tea and hands 2 mugs to Persephone and Sky, keeping one for herself. The 3 of them, plus Alfredo, sit in a circle. They look at the tea in silence for a good while.
Cayenne liked bluebells.
Diane likes roses. She's a hopeless romantic.
Sky likes sunflowers because they're tall.
Cayenne would get annoyed when I dropped leaves into her spring. She'd spend hours trying to fish them up, but she'd never get all of them.
Diane thinks water gets stale if you leave it out too long.
Sky can't read a map.
No, that's just mean.
Sky takes a long sip of tea. Diane, then Persephone follow suit.
She would always wait for me with bluebells. A welcome home gift, she said.
My password reset question is the street Sky used to live on when I first met her in middle school. It was,
Edwards. Every year on my birthday, Diane makes me creme brulee because
One time, I made Cayenne so mad that
there was a letter they sent to.
every time she sang the song,
she told me
She loved me.
Diane, Sky, and Persephone close their eyes. Alfredo makes sure each of them is safely on the floor before he begins struggling to pick up a pencil. He succeeds. After a few tries, and drags it over to a piece of paper. As he writes, we hear Alfredo reading out loud. 2.5 is the minimum number of lesbians. End of play.
All right, well, everyone is getting settled and getting paper and pencils. Let's all go down the line and introduce ourselves and our roles on this commission. I am Hannah. I believe I said that before. And I was the festival organizer and producer.
Hi, I'm Liz. I am here right now. Hi, I'm Lavanya. I was the director. I'm Elisa Morrison. I was one of the organizers of the festival as well. And not sitting with us are the 2 mentors.
Sandra Todd and Shalana Stokes, whose presence we just want to bring into the room so much. So we're going to start out with statements of meaning, which is the first step in Liz Lerman's critical response process. So things that jumped out at you or landed with you or sticking with you, images, lines, and I'm going to pass it over to Elisa and Lavanya first, and then open it up to the audience.
Oh my gosh, so much. The
first of all, the laughter in the room, which has felt so, and we've really run the gamut this festival. We have laughed, we've cried, and it just also felt like, thank you for writing such a funny, heart-filled play. It was just such a delight to travel through time and mythology. I mean, something that is sticking with me now is this beautifully simple trope that it's funny when I read the early version that was submitted, to the festival. It's not something that stood out to me, and it's I think it's expanded since as you've been working on it in the last couple of months. But there were several scenes that employed this rhetorical strategy of confession or railing against, and then one line that was repeated again and again. I love him, I love him, I love him, I know, yes mother, yes mother, yes mother. And that to set up this assurance that is of course changing over its repetition against this outpouring of personality and of need and of sort of social construction. You play with language in such gorgeous ways and bring together. I guess just the permeability of these worlds that you play with is. I'm still processing it. I think, yeah, it's very much living in me.
First of all, I have had the pleasure of working with Rose in many different capacities, and we have been co-actors, and we have been actor stage manager, and we have been director actor, and now we're writer-director. And I think across all of these experiences, the one thing that I really, really, really believe about Rose is that she's incredibly funny. She's so funny, and it's in such a smart and beautiful way. And secondly, I think my favorite thing about this play is the way that Rose shows us how we all perform, as Odysseus said. And I would like us to think about the way that regardless of whether there is or isn't a Persephone listening, how is meaning made through the silly little patterns that we fall into in the suffering, and the mistakes in our lives. 2.5 Lesbians shows us through like 3 different stories within stories within stories that someone may or may not be listening, but life is art and art is life, and both of these things are beautiful. That's my favorite.
Hard to follow, but I'm sure there are so many thoughts brewing in the audience, and we encourage you to write down what you say out loud, because it can be a lot coming at someone who's just written and witnessed their work, and it's great to have a souvenir to look back on, more than a souvenir. So, Laura, what stood out? What's landing with you? Yeah.
I love the way that you use reboots as not just a comedic device, but also a way to really explore the way that we think about significant moments in our lives, and that theme between, like, as you said, like stories within stories, and how that and how we try to capture really the beauty of even things that we consider to be mistakes. And I really like how that was resolved at the end of it.
Of all the different relationship pairings going on and the different versions of different relationships, I like the contrast, and not a lot of them were like particularly shining examples of a healthy relationship, but I liked the kind of 2 buckets I noticed of healthy
and unhealthy ways of staying with someone, even if you don't have that like bright, shining, perfect romantic love for them. The way Sky and Diane work together without like, even if they kill each other in different ways, they kept coming back because there was something really special there. I actually really liked, I don't know if this was intentional or if I'm misreading something, but I really liked Penelope and Odysseus' relationship, the way that there's definitely like a romanticism going on, but like it worked for them in their ways, and the way they comforted each other and understood each other, or didn't. Yeah, that was it.
Some of the great laugh lines are really going to stay with me. I don't even know how to spell Deus Ex Machina.
Oh my god, I was dying laughing on that. Moving into the next scene.
The Lupi Alfredo, who really just continues to take on power and really is the one at the end who carries things forward. And I mean, there's just so much funny stuff in there.
I feel like go ahead.
I was just gonna say I agree. I was laughing a lot, and I think what'll stick with me is the relatability. I think we've probably all of us in this room had a friend who's in a relationship you want them to get out of, and you're just like telling them every single red flag about this person very explicitly, and they're still just like somehow enamored with them, and it's like, okay, well, I guess this is fine. Like, I guess I'll still be your friend, even though I can't get you to see this perspective. So yeah, just getting to see something that's very comedically relatable is really good.
I think also the image of it was Penelope and Mother, and the like saying a bunch of different things versus like I love him or like I miss you. I forgot the exact line that Penelope's repeating.
Yes,
Yes, Mother, thank you. Like that, and also so the way it mirrored Sky and Diane's like every red flag I can think of versus I love him, and how the mother's scene ends with I'm giving you away, and then Sky and Diane, like Sky ends up giving like Diane away kind of at the wedding. I thought that was really powerful.
Here and there.
I was blown away by the script and at how so many tender moments came out in the various relationships between relationships which we are expected to be in, like the mother and the daughter and Spencer and Diane, and the relationships that we want to be in, and so there was so many conflicting things happening, and the tenderness of every relationship came out in the script. So congratulations on the writing, it was brilliant. And I think the last few lines where the three of them say that she loved me, that kind of summarizes what we all kind of aspire or live for. So,
Yeah, I really like the part when there was this like breaking through the fourth wall moment when Antheia and Penelope are like too tired to go on performing, and then there are like these radical suggestions of like, what if we kill each other, or like this idea that they've like lived different versions of this life and story again and again and again, and after a while, like at the end of all that, like this potential or possibility of breaking through the patterns and starting fresh, even in the most radical and absurd ways, is like a way of like taking ownership and agency over themselves and their lives.
The intricacy of the structure of this play, combined with the erudition and wit of the writing, passes over us like a constant sparkle, with the poignancy of the story and the stories of losing love but knowing you were loved finally at the end, were dazzling to me. And I kept being surprised in the middle of feeling for, I want to say the direction and acting of this piece were stellar, absolutely stellar, and I was swept away from the moment it started, and I want to thank everyone involved for that. But I was so moved by each of the relationships, even when I was laughing at the forearms, and the courage of all of you to bring this quite. It's a saga, and to realize at the very end that we were back exactly where at the beginning, and even Persephone has decided to sip the water of Lethe because of her own pain. It was absolutely beautiful. Thank you.
I saw Odysseus' hand over there.
I guess this is maybe kind of a basic silly question, but it's with the whole obsession with happy endings, I'm kind of wondering if this is the happy ending that the happiest ending they could have achieved, or if there was is this the sad ending? Is this like the one where it's like they weren't able to I don't know, work with the past and be able to move forward, but just had to let it go entirely and not remember that they were loved once and just have to move on. I was kind of struck with that, especially since Persephone was so obsessed with happy endings. Did she get her happy ending, or maybe she did, but it's obviously very complicated emotion.
It's this darn mortality.
Yes, you're welcome to answer it or not. Let it sit in the air.
I consider it a happy ending, especially for Diane and Sky, because Persephone did save them. She saved them from, I think, not being able to fully work through the conflicts in their relationship. I gave them a nice conversation, but I think there was more to say, and they just craved more time together. And they're dead, but they got that time before they died completely. I feel like for Persephone, this is the only happy ending that makes sense. She has sinned a lot. She's ruined a bunch of humans and ruffled their bones and stuff. But that being said, she also deserves to be able to not choose immortality anymore. And I feel like they helped her choose. So I don't think there's a happy ending that makes sense.
I'll be grappling with that too.
That question and your beautiful answer is it's also making me think of something that was striking me at the end that I'm still trying to, I think, put into to articulate. But there's the scale of the stories and the scale of the interweaving and the mythologizing and the historicizing and the stereotyping and all of it's just there's so many large moves and thousands of bones and then the ending, somehow the tenderness of remembering bluebells, of remembering something so delicate. And I mean, and that contrasted with Persephone's lines about, and then why would I, they want to go back to live another, couple decades, they only have to suffer for max 10 decades. That's nothing, in the way that she throws it off. But then it comes down to bluebells, at the end. And there's something to be able to appreciate something so small or so delicate seems in keeping with something of it's hard, it's not Hollywood happy, but there's a happy there,
love
that you just do so beautifully.
Shane had his hand up.
Yeah, congratulations to both of you and to all the actors. And what is one of the things that is both a small thing and central to everything that you were doing as a writer that I loved about this was just the sheer wild theatrical creativity of it, and the trust as a writer that you have to write something like a fettuccine noodle or an olive tree or the shaking room or the flames that are getting closer, and to trust the stage people to make that happen somehow. That's not your problem anymore, but you gave them those images, and it's the thing about theater that lets all of us have to come together to solve the problems that you've created. And it's just so so creative and trusting. And I felt that in the reading and in the audience, people willing to receive the trust that you give them with images, scenes, the shattering TV, the stories within stories. So thank you very much.
Something that I'll be sitting with is the wink, the like metaphor of the wink to only see half the red flags, and how this idea of halves showed up in all these different places. I'm gonna move our conversation to whether you have any questions for those assembled, Rose.
I learned about the metanormativity from Kara, who's sitting over there. And it's an idea that I've been sitting with for a while because I find it very difficult to distinguish between romantic love and friendship. I think both are very valuable, and I think I want both of that in my life. But I guess I'm wondering, did you see a difference in how romantic love versus friendship was portrayed in this play?
I think at the start there was a big dichotomy that was being drawn between you're my friend and you should be happy for me that I am in love. But then at the end I think we were taken on this beautiful journey of moving beyond this simple dichotomy of, oh, this is romantic love, oh, this is friendship love. And I feel like at the end, with the way that Sky and Diane and Persephone were all able to like put all of their love kind of not against each other, but the way that they were put together, both kind of friendship love and romantic love on the part of Persephone was really beautiful. And we got to move beyond that simple distinction between those two, because I think that humans have this truly amazing capacity for more than just what we think or what we're enamored with as the simple idea and definition of love. And you also were able to comment on what we all think we should be when we're in love. And I think that was just wonderful.
Based on the beginning of the play, I thought the premise was going to be that Diane was going to marry a guy and Sky was really upset about it, and Diane was going to realize she had romantic feelings for Sky and she was a lesbian after all, or maybe bisexual, and that's what the half a lesbian meant. So I thought there was going to be an obvious switch where she didn't realize her platonic feelings were actually romantic feelings, and I should have known you wouldn't make it that easy, because every relationship throughout the show, I kind of kept wondering, oh, is this supposed to be platonic or supposed to be romantic? And it was always somewhere very nicely in the middle. Or it could be either, it could be both, like Penelope and the other one's relationship. Yeah.
It felt like marbling on paper when you have marbled colors merging into each other. The relationships felt like that, whether it was friendship or romantic love, they kind of just swam and merged into each other. Very beautiful.
Yeah. Oh, I was just gonna say, I feel like in the beginning or like until the end, and it's like want to distinct between romantic and platonic love is kind of like the root of a lot of unhappiness to the characters. And like I you know, it like really resonates with like our lives and how heteronormativity like really has a hold of like how we perceive it makes things more complicated than maybe it actually is.
Did you have any questions for the audience?
I would like to return to the idea of art and life and performance, because it's just something that I'm obsessed with. So I'd like to ask, based on Penelope and Antheia and Diane and Sky and Persephone and Cayenne, and what hope are we left with about the meaning that our lives have, or the meaning that our mistakes and narratives have, and do they exist? I thought it was a very hopeful ending, and I think hopeful is better than happy, but I don't know, maybe other people
Break the ice again, yes.
Oh, sure. I think I agree that it was really hopeful, and the final line really connects well to that one scene where Diane was calling her ex before Spencer, right? What was his name? Joe, right? And she was calling Joe, and I feel like the sense that I got from that scene was very much the beauty of having been loved. And it doesn't necessarily need to be love in the moment, or love now, or love forever, or love in the future. But having been loved and having that kind of hope was something that was really good. Really touching.
Something about the ending. I really like what you said about hopeful is better than happy, because I think happy is in some ways inadequate, and this play made it an inadequate word to describe what was going on with these people. And I definitely felt able to cry because I laughed, or because I wanted them to not forget each other, but also it was the release that they all needed in that moment. I think, I don't know if it really responds to the art and life part of the question, but it definitely responds. I hope it responds to what you're reflecting.
It reminds me of the difference of talking about happy, the happy ending, end of the TV show, and how Persephone was really upset at first that there was a different ending that wasn't the happy ending she was used to, but which showed a different possibility, which is that hope, which is, every lifetime, every try again, every relationship can end differently, even if which can be a better thing than it always ending a way that you think is the right way for it to end.
Yeah, I think another question that comes for me with regard to making mistakes is the kind of ways in which we can build and have relationships and give and have a continuous love while also drawing boundaries for what's acceptable or healthy, versus some of the things that I think happened in particular Antheia and Penelope's relationship were kind of toxic or borderline problematic, or and thinking about how to navigate hurting each other and forgiving each other. And I mean also Diane was responsible for his guys that just I guess arson is kind of not okay. But but this idea of how when is it noble to keep loving no matter what, and what are we willing to forgive, and when is there a responsibility in the other person to grow or be better in order for the relationship to still be one that flourishes and supports both people in their relationship.
I think going back to the art and life question too, that I think weaves through a number of the comments is I think something that this play does so well is traverse this Mobius strip between art and life, because art gives us the archetypes that make us feel like our life, but sometimes direct them or make us make choices that don't actually fit. But and then I mean even this is another stands out to me always thought, and we'll probably get divorced, but I've always thought that divorce was sort of maybe kind of romantic or whatever it was, or glamorous, I forget. Sexy, that's right, yeah. But so there's it gives us these bizarre stereotypes, and yet then life also gives the contradictions to art that makes it so shattering and truthful, and it never kind of resolved. It's the big linguine noodle or spaghetti noodle. It's just we kept going. We kept going with it. The Alfredo, that's right.
I mean, I feel the way the TV becomes something permeable also feeds this interweaving, and permeable in contradictory, juicy directions, not it was an illusional, cause and effect keep changing on us. Well, we're gonna head upstairs for champagne champagne, sparkling cider toast in a moment, but I wanted to make sure to pass it back to you, Rose, for any last thoughts or questions to leave us lingering with when we continue our conversation up in the lounge.
So first, I want to thank all of you for being here. And second, I would like to acknowledge that 2.5 lesbians is not drawn from 2.5 men. It is also not drawn from myself. It is drawn from Alexa's mouth. Not in a weird way. When she and a friend from high school and I were spending time together over the summer, and she was like, "Oh, like we're 2.5 lesbians," because she's bisexual. Sorry to out you like that. And I feel like that was when I was grappling with the idea of why do friends only get to see each other once a year if you graduate from college versus your romantic partner is expected to stay by you, and a long distance relationship is so tragic. And I feel like graduating from Yale, I feel that very strongly, where I feel like the strongest connections I've made here are friendships, and I will be losing that to a certain degree. And so I guess this play is a tribute to that, and also to holding on in my own way to the relationships that matter.
Thank you so much.